There are moments in life when we must learn to go silent, not because we have nothing to say, but because silence is power. True strength is not always loud. It doesn't always need to be seen, heard, or applauded. Sometimes it simply exists, quiet, still, steady, like a mountain standing tall in the fog. In a world obsessed with noise and validation, we've forgotten the value of keeping things to ourselves. We rush to share our dreams, our plans, our every thought, hoping someone will nod, clap, agree. But in doing so, we scatter our energy. We expose fragile seeds to storms they're not ready for. Silence is not absence. It is presence. A presence so full, so grounded, it does not seek permission to exist. When you stay silent, you give your dreams time to root deeply. You nurture them away from opinions, away from doubt. You let them grow in peace. Imagine a seed buried deep in the earth. It does not shout to the world, "I'm growing." It simply grows, quietly, patiently, until one day it bursts forth, not with noise, but with undeniable presence. You too are like that seed. You don't need to tell the world what you're becoming. Just become it. Let your actions reveal what words cannot express. Let your journey unfold not with declarations, but with grace. Because in silence, you find clarity. In silence, you reclaim focus. And in silence, you protect what matters most: your energy, your vision, your peace. So the next time you're tempted to announce your next step, pause, breathe, smile, and remember, what grows in silence blooms the most beautifully. Not everyone deserves to hear your dreams. Not every listener is a supporter. Sometimes, the quickest way to lose your own fire is to hand it to someone who doesn't know how to hold it. We often think that sharing brings us closer, that by telling others our goals, we're creating connection, maybe even accountability. But the truth is, the wrong ears can drain you. Even a single look of doubt, a careless word, or a forced smile can seep into your spirit like cold rain on a small flame. You speak out of joy, but they respond with silence. You share from hope, but receive hesitation. And slowly, without realizing it, you begin to question yourself. Not because your dream isn't worthy, but because their energy is not worthy of it. Your vision is a delicate seed. In its early stage, it doesn't need applause, it needs protection. You don't plant a flower and immediately dig it up to show the world. You let it grow in the dark, under the soil, where roots can strengthen, hidden but alive. So many beautiful beginnings have been crushed, not by failure, but by premature exposure, by the need to explain, to prove, to be seen. But you are not here to perform. You are here to become. Let your silence be a sacred space where your ideas breathe, where your energy returns to you, undisturbed. Because when you speak too soon, you give away fragments of your strength to people who cannot hold it. So, protect it. Guard it. Let your silence be the womb where something powerful is taking shape. And when the time is right, it will reveal itself. Whole, unshaken, unstoppable. There is a kind of strength that makes no sound. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't chase applause. But it is real, steady like the earth beneath your feet. We call it silent strength. It's the kind of power that wakes up early, works quietly, and doesn't complain. It's the calm courage to keep walking when no one is cheering. It's the clarity that comes when you no longer need to prove your worth to anyone. In silence, you don't just save your words, you conserve your energy. Energy that fuels your focus, that builds your foundation, that helps you stay aligned with your path when the world tries to distract you with noise. Sometimes, the reason people speak too much is because they feel uncertain. They try to find confidence through approval. But true confidence comes from doing the work no one sees, from choosing growth even when no one is watching, from knowing that the tree does not need to shout while growing. It simply grows. So protect your silence, not just from others, but from your own need to be seen too soon. There's no need to explain your steps to those who don't walk beside you. There's no need to shout what's still in the making. Be like the mountain, unchanging, unshaken, even in the storm. Let each step you take be a whisper that builds a roar. Let your progress speak, not your promises. Let your journey unfold, not as a performance, but as a quiet revolution. Because when your time comes, you won't need to say anything. Your presence will say it all, and the world will listen, not because you were loud, but because you were real. There are moments in life when the greatest victory is choosing not to speak, not because you are weak, but because you are wise, not because you are hiding, but because you are protecting what is sacred inside. In today's world, everyone rushes to say something, to explain, to justify, to be understood. But there is a quiet kind of intelligence that whispers, "Not yet." Because not everything needs to be said, not every plan needs to be shared, and not every thought needs an audience. Sometimes, silence is the most powerful answer. It keeps you from unnecessary conflict. It guards your peace like a sacred gate. It allows you to breathe before reacting, to see clearly before acting. We've been taught to fear silence, that if we don't speak up, we'll be left behind. But the truth is, silence is a sign of mastery. It shows restraint. It shows intention. It shows that you are no longer a prisoner to the opinions of others. When you stay silent, you create space for clarity, for growth, for insight to arise from within. You allow life to unfold without your voice controlling the script. And often, that's when the most beautiful truths emerge. So the next time someone tries to pull you into noise, into drama, into a debate that does not serve your path, smile, pause, and walk away in silence. Let your calm disturb their chaos. Let your stillness be your stance. Because silence is not the absence of power. It is the control of power. And those who learn when not to speak often end up saying the most, without a single word. There is a kind of light that doesn't shine on a stage. It glows from within, quiet, humble, but powerful. That is the light of someone who builds in silence. When you stop needing recognition, something magical happens. You begin to return to yourself. Your focus sharpens. Your steps become steady. You're no longer pulled in every direction by noise or opinion. Instead of announcing your journey, you start walking it, step by sacred step, without the pressure to impress, without the weight of expectation, just pure presence and the quiet fire inside. True growth does not need witnesses. It needs stillness. It needs patience. Like a seed growing beneath the soil, it's unseen, but it's alive, preparing for its moment. And one day, when it blooms, it will not apologize for its brilliance. It will simply be. So let yourself grow quietly. Let yourself build slowly. Let your dreams ripen in the dark, far from the spotlight. Because when you arrive, you'll arrive whole. Not as someone desperate to be seen, but as someone who has become. Not with noise, but with knowing. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You don't need to explain why you've been quiet. Your results will speak in a voice far louder than words ever could. Let the world wonder what you're up to. Let them guess. Let them talk. And when the time comes, let your life be the answer. Let your peace be the proof. Let your silence become the roar. There is something sacred about the way silence holds you, not like a cage, but like a sanctuary. In silence, you begin to hear again, not the noise of the world, but the voice within. The gentle whisper that says, "You are enough." Even when no one sees, even when no one claps. The world often tells us to move fast, speak loud, chase more. But the soul only blossoms in stillness. Only in silence can you meet yourself with honesty, with compassion, with truth. When you choose silence, you give yourself the space to feel, not just happiness, but grief. Not just strength, but softness. Not just clarity, but confusion too. And all of it is sacred. Silence is where healing begins. It's where the wounds hidden beneath smiles start to breathe. It's where you no longer need to pretend to be okay, because in silence, there is no performance, only presence. Don't be afraid of your quiet seasons. They are not empty. They are full of unseen growth, of roots going deep, of foundations being rebuilt. The caterpillar must enter the darkness of the cocoon before it becomes the butterfly. And just like that, you too are transforming. Quietly, tenderly, beautifully. So protect your silence. Don't rush to speak. Don't hurry to prove. This is your sacred ground, where you return to who you truly are. And when you are ready, you won't need to shout. You will simply shine. Not because you tried to be seen, but because you finally saw yourself. Do you know what kind of person is truly strong? Not the one who always talks, always explains, always defends themselves, but the one who knows when to step back, when to be quiet, when to protect their peace like a sacred temple. There are things in life that once spoken too soon will lose their sacredness. Dreams that if exposed too early will never grow to their full potential. Because not every soil is meant for your seed. Not every heart is ready to hear your vision. That's why silence is not about hiding. It's about choosing wisely. Choosing who gets access to your thoughts. Choosing when to speak and when to simply trust the process. There will be people who won't understand your dreams. Some will doubt you out loud. Some will smile, but quietly hope you fail. And some will say nothing, but their silence carries the weight of judgment. And you, if you're not careful, may start to shrink. Not because you're wrong, but because you allowed the wrong voices in. So learn this. Your vision doesn't need permission. Your progress doesn't need applause. Your path doesn't need validation from anyone who can't walk it with you. The seed doesn't explain itself to the stone. It just grows. Be that seed. Grow in silence. Let your energy be sacred. Let your actions be quiet prayers that the world won't hear until the tree blooms. And when that day comes, when the fruit of your labor hangs heavy with truth, you still won't need to say much. Just smile, breathe, and let your stillness speak louder than any words ever could. Sometimes life doesn't need more noise. It needs more stillness, more quiet courage, more invisible strength. Have you ever felt exhausted? Not from doing too much, but from explaining too much? Explaining your dreams to people who don't dream. Explaining your silence to those who fear stillness. Explaining your path to those who've never walked through fire. It's tiring. Because no matter how sincere your words are, some ears were never meant to hear them. Some hearts were never meant to hold your story. That's when silence becomes your softest armor. Not cold, not closed, but calm, anchored in self-knowing. You don't have to keep proving yourself. You don't have to keep showing your work before it's ready. You are not here to convince the world. You are here to become. Silence gives you room to become without interruption, to evolve without explanation, to grow roots before anyone sees your bloom. The oak tree doesn't apologize for its quiet years beneath the soil, and neither should you. This is your quiet season. Not a pause, but a preparation. Not a retreat, but a rebuilding. You are not lost. You're being planted deeper. So let go of the need to be understood right now. Let go of the urge to be seen too soon. Trust the quiet work happening within you. And when the time comes, when your leaves stretch out to the light, you won't need to speak. Your presence will say, "I've been growing all along." There is a kind of freedom that comes when you stop needing to explain your life to anyone. When you no longer rush to say, "I'm doing this, I'm becoming that." When you no longer feel the pressure to prove that you're moving forward. Because you know, deeply know, that your journey is not a performance. It's a sacred becoming. The strongest version of you doesn't come from being loud. It comes from being rooted. Rooted in purpose. Rooted in peace. Rooted in the quiet conviction that you are already on the way, even if no one else sees it yet. There's no need to shout your progress. Let it unfold quietly. Let it bloom in stillness. Let it grow where only your soul can feel it. This is not hiding. This is protecting. Protecting your path from premature judgment. Protecting your dreams from the noise of the world. Protecting your energy like the rare light it truly is. And when the questions come, why are you so quiet? What are you working on? You smile gently and say less. Because you know, what matters most doesn't need to be explained. It needs to be lived. You are building something too sacred to be rushed, too personal to be diluted, too precious to be exposed too soon. So walk your path in peace. Let your silence be your strength. And trust that one day, without needing to say a word, your life will speak for itself, with grace, with power, and with truth. There are moments in life when staying silent isn't about fear, but about wisdom. You see, not all silence is emptiness. Some silence is sacred. Some silence is full of strength, full of clarity, full of purpose. The world will tempt you to speak too soon, to announce your plans, to explain your pain, to broadcast your every move. But every time you speak before the moment is ripe, you scatter a bit of your own energy. You let opinions enter where peace should stay. You allow noise to cloud the vision that is still forming quietly within. True power moves without noise. It doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't seek validation. It doesn't rush the process. It understands that the most powerful transformation often happens in the dark. In the moments when no one is watching, no one is clapping, no one even knows what you're becoming. And that's okay. The seed doesn't bloom in the spotlight. It blooms in silence, under pressure, in the hidden places. So protect your process. Guard your inner world. Speak less. Listen more. Let your presence grow quietly until one day it's too powerful to ignore. Because you don't need to tell the world you're changing. Let the change speak for itself. Let the way you walk, the way you hold peace, the way you show up, be the loudest statement of all. And when the time comes, your silence will no longer be questioned. It will be understood. It was never absence. It was preparation.